Okay, hello, Molly's friend. This is probably going to be um, very bare as far as what you see in a course, but she said that you were needing some help figuring out how to do kind of like a discussion board post. So I'm going to walk you through those steps, but just remember my course is going to look very bare because I just created it for in order to show you this. So you would click the course that you wanted to create in. It's going to be right here. You can choose the classes. I don't know how it'll look for you, but they'll probably be listed right here. So you'll click whichever one you want in your classes, or they'll be listed right here, sorry. And so you'll click the one that you're wanting to post the question in. You'll click. It'll take you to the kind of home landing page of where you want, and you can see kind of like the thread of what's upcoming in your class, or it'll probably have things that you've already done down in the bottom. But what you'll click next is up here at the top, and you'll click classwork. And then you can see right here, this is something that I've already created. So I just wanted to show you that real quick, so what it looks like once you're done. But you can click right here and say view question. And then it's telling me that here's the points that can be graded out of. So you can change those to whatever you want. It could be out of 20, and then it'll grade that for you whenever you enter the score. Or it could simply be not graded, so that's an option too. So you can always change that to ungraded. But so this would tell you where your students, how many have turned it in, and then you would most likely see, I don't know for sure, but you would most likely see their responses here, and then also their responses to each other. And I'm guessing that you can sort it by when it's over here. Yeah, so you can I'm assuming, I don't ever know because haven't done this, but I'm assuming that it'll probably give you an option to sort it by who's responded and things like that. But this is kind of where you would see it, and then you would give them grades over here once they've turned it in. So, but back to the question, you can see that right here it says post your response and respond to two others. This is the initial prompt, and then this is just additional directions for them. You can include links. You can even include documents like back to your Google Drive and stuff like that. So those are all different options for you, and I'll show you those here in a second when we make the question. So again, I'm going to go back to the home base. I'm going to go to classwork, and then I'm going to create my new question. So I'm going to click create. I'm going to click question, and then I'm going to type my question: who's going to win the game tonight? And then I can give additional instructions if I wanted to. Include the score in your answer. Okay, and then right here I can assign however many points that I want, and like I showed you, you could change it over there. So I can change the points to out of 20, or I can click ungraded. The due date, it doesn't make you do a due date, so you can always choose to have one or not. But if you have one, then you can always choose just kind of the day, or you can choose the time and make that specific. So we'll just leave that on there for now. And then the topic, this is kind of cool. You can create different topics. So if you had a certain subject that you wanted, or a certain theme that you were studying, you could lump all of these questions to that topic. So I'm going to call this one digital learning because I already have one that has that topic. And then here you can decide whether it's multiple choice or short answer. You're going to want to keep it short answer if you want your kids to respond to them, to respond to each other. Otherwise, they won't have that option to respond to each other. So it'll so you want to make sure that this is clicked as blue or whatever color it is for you, but you want to make sure that that's clicked because otherwise they won't be able to respond to each other. And then you could choose to have this where they can edit their answer. I would probably encourage you to not do that, just so they don't go back and say things that their students have already, or that their peers have already said, or change their answers. But there's also a good time that you could use that where if you were doing peer editing and things like that. So those are kind of the basic nuts and bolts that you need for assigning the question. You could also assign it to different students individually or small groups if you were doing something like that. So that's cool. Down here, you can kind of add an attachment, like if you wanted them to read a summary of something before they responded with their short answer, or if you were doing an FRQ, or however you wanted to do it. But you can also pull from your Google Drive, you can pull from YouTube, or you can just link something in. So those are kind of where you would do what you saw just a second ago in the beginning. But yeah, so then when you're done, you can schedule it. So you could say this is going to come on live at this time, and then we'll actually just click it so you can see. But you can make sure that it happens at a certain time, and then it'll automatically should notify them, as long as they have their notifications on, that they have an assignment in your class. So if you didn't want to remember that you needed to go in and assign it. So you can do it that way, or you can just say go ahead and ask, and it's going to post to your course automatically. So if I ask, it's going to take a second to save, and then you can see that that's now lumped under the category of digital learning, because these are both my digital learning questions. I can click it and I can see who's turned it in. I can view the question, so on and so forth. So hopefully that helps you with your question, and good luck.